Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I felt like this episode just took a step back from yesterday's episode. It was like yesterday's episode was actually pretty interesting, pretty good. It wasn't great, but it was good. At best, it was decent. This episode, you know what? Sometimes I get to the point where I don't even like just saying that this episode wasn't good. Like, I don't like saying when episodes aren't good, because it happens too often. The only bright spot about that is when an episode is really good. I'm super excited. This isn't one of those. Let's get into this episode. And the first thing that I want to sit there and talk about is, I was just on her Instagram too. The woman who plays Alexis finally had her scene with Jax. And when you know the stuff behind the scenes, when you know the drama behind the scenes and how she really don't like him and his whole stance and everything like that, and the fact that they actually had to have a scene together, it was so crazy. Like, I saw the comments down below, like, oh my goodness, you had to actually have a scene with him. What was that like? And it was just like, man, it sucks. It really does when you have personal politics and how it does play a factor into, like, the actual show. When it starts to bleed into the show, it's a problem. But with that being said, I think they did I think both actors did a good job. You know, I really do. Of course, it was very obvious that they still had issues with each other because they didn't hug, and they always hug, no matter what. It's not like Alexis can't get hugs, but you know, that's just not happening. The only thing that really came out is this whole scene was set up so that way Jackson sit there and go to Alexis and pretty much ask permission to do something bad. That's pretty much about it. That's literally what he did. He came over there, he talked in code because he didn't want to name names, and basically was like, well, if I do this, then I'm bad. If I do this, then it's whatever. I'm like, are you asking her permission to be a scumbag, pretty much? Like, and granted, you know, what he said was if he does nothing, then he's doing something bad by not letting his family, you know, everyone knows that Sonny's alive. But if he does, then he'll be betraying Nina. And seeing how far she already went down this rabbit hole, he's just like, damn. But that's pretty much all that scene really was. And also, you know, Jax pretty much confessed his sins about Michael, blackmailing Michael, and, well, trying to blackmail Carly by getting a confession out of, her. So, pretty much he was there. You know, the way Alexis described it was like, well, you know, you've been following your gut the last 2 times and it didn't work, and, now you want to make sure you're doing the right decision or something like that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of, I'm not gonna lie. Partly this scene was, I wouldn't sit there and say it was boring, but it was just like, dude, what are you saying? It's like you're speaking in code. So sometimes I was able to follow him, and sometimes I was like, what? But I felt like because she couldn't follow him, like know the names and know exactly what the specifics of what he's saying is, she really couldn't make a good judgment. And all she said at the end was, well, you already seemed like you made up your mind by the time you got here, so good luck. So, with that being said, what was the point of that scene? And of course, he talks to Trina about where she got the source, Nixon Falls, and to ask Nina, whatever. So right then and there, he already kind of put it together on top of the fact that he vaguely remembers seeing Sonny anyway. So he got all the information that he needs. The question is, what is he going to do about it? So we find out the person who kidnapped Liesl, Victor Cassadine. Now I don't really know much about him, but from what I understand about him and her, he's pretty obsessed with her. Like, he pretty much kidnapped her so that way he can be with her. He was like, yo, listen, I noticed that you was around this other guy, and I'm not really feeling that, and kind of all want you to myself, so I had to sit there and take care of him. I mean, I gave him a parachute, so he's fine. I'm sitting there thinking, like, let me get this straight. You wanted this woman all to yourself. You could have simply just killed Scott. But no. I'll make sure he lands safely. I'm sorry, but that's still just... It really doesn't make sense to me, and I know it's a soap opera and certain things you kind of just gotta go with it, but... Yeah, so that's pretty much his whole reasoning for kidnapping her. Because he still wants to be with her, even after she shot him. Wow, okay, that's, well, that's something. Ava comes to see Trina to pretty much tell her goodbye, that she still has a job there, but she's leaving because of the stalker. And before she goes, she gives her so-called words of wisdom, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm just like, what? I mean, this is after Trina tells her that Spencer has a girlfriend, and that she didn't even know about the girlfriend until she just showed up. Even after them getting close and flirting and everything like that. Oh, surprise! I have a girlfriend. I just forgot to tell you that. And with that being said, Ava's like, I think you should go after him. I'm sorry, what? Did you not just hear what she just said? She just... Even when she said that, even when she was like, yeah, but he lied to me about having a girlfriend. He's a teenage boy. You know, that's just what happens. Like... You're pretty much telling her to go fight for a liar. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is one of those things where it's like, the plot has to override common sense. The plot just has to override logic. No person in their right mind is going to sit there and tell someone else that situation happens and they forgot, oh yeah, I have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, whatever. Just sit there and say, no, you should still go after them. Yeah, I know they lied or whatever, but you know, they're a boy, you know, this is what they do. Like, no person who is a quote-unquote mentor would literally steer this person towards a liar. But, plot, so, yeah, that's what we're doing now. Because that doesn't make any sense to me, but whatevs. Now, Spencer's sitting there having dinner with Esme, and the waiter comes and, you know, he's like, oh, you know, put it on my tab, you know, I'm a cashier or whatever, and the waiter was like, oh, well, your name has been taken off the account. So now he's all upset, she has to sit there and want to pay, and I'm just like, bro, what did you think was going to wind up happening? Your grandmother literally just said you can't reject him but take his money at the same time. Or you thought she was lying or something? So of course your card or account doesn't work. So he's all upset. Nicholas comes, or he literally is standing there like Batman, And didn't he actually have a butler named Alfred? So weird. Anyway, so he comes over there. He tries to make peace. He tries to apologize. Spencer's not having none of it. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I get to a certain extent. Well, granted that, you know, you're seeing this from the outside perspective, and even though we know that he's a stalker, but just from the outside perspective, I get that he's angry, he's frustrated, feels hurt, betrayed. The 18-year-old just still sitting there acting like a brat. You know? I'm like, listen, yeah, your dad screwed up royally, but he's trying to make amends. And you're just not hearing it. You're just like, oh, well, you made a mistake and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And it was just like, it was so annoying to sit there and listen to him. And I get that he's a quote-unquote teenager, but isn't that guy like, well, 18? I can see maybe if he's like 12 or 14 or whatever, but I don't know. Anyway, he wasn't having it. Esme kind of talks him into it by reminding him, well, I'm not gonna lie, she kind of said it in a really poopy way, pretty much just saying that we're both high maintenance and we need money and we're rich, and I don't know. It was some sort of crap that I was just like, it's like basically just saying that all you're really good at or all your worth is just being rich. That's pretty much what I got from what she said. And I'm not gonna lie, it is really difficult listening to her talk. Because she just sounds so damn pretentious. Like, every word, every syllable that comes out her mouth is just like, ugh. Anyway, she gets Spencer to sit there and change his mind, and they're all talking, and seems like they're kind of working it out. And then Trina comes in, because Ava gave her, like, the worst advice ever, but she comes to the table, Nicholas leaves, and she's there. And I'm just sitting there looking at this like, you know, there's a saying. Three's a crowd. This is literally the guy you want to sit there and fight for. Okay. But Esme said something that was interesting. It was weird, but it was interesting. When Trina was like, you know, Ava's leaving because of the stalker and stuff like that, and Esme was like, oh, I understand, you know, she has to protect her daughter, you know, and it's a shame what happened to her other daughter, Lauren. And Trina was like, who the hell is Lauren? Now, I never really knew Kiki's real name. Like, I know she actually had an actual name, like Maxie's name isn't Maxie. I think it's like Mariah something, which is actually a really pretty name to a very questionable singer. But I'm wondering what's Kiki's actual name, and where did Lauren come in from? You know, Ava visits Scott at the hospital, and you know, she's all like, oh, I came here to see how you're doing, and you're okay, is everything good? So, what's going on with the divorce? Like, damn, Ava. I mean, really? I understand that you need your divorce and everything like that, but this man is literally in a hospital bed. But of course, you had to sit there and make it about yourself. And of course, Anna and Jordan pretty much kicks her out the room, starts questioning him. Seems like it seemed like at one point they were accusing him. Meanwhile, that Boy Scout Wyatt, you know, he found the pendulum or whatever, the necklace, gave it to Britt, and yeah, at this point they're just kind of theorizing, you know, what happened, you know, like what could wind up happening to Liesl, and you know, where were they going and stuff like that. Just the usual Law and Order procedural kind of questions. And the only thing that they really got out of that whole thing is that he was chloroformed. And, what else? I'm not gonna lie, this part of the episode was kind of boring. I'm pretty sure Anna said something, and I paused it because in my head, when I was like, I'm like, what did Anna say? As far as the plane or something, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of boring, and it really felt like it didn't go anywhere. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, their scenes really didn't go anywhere. All they pretty much said to Scott was that, you know, wherever this bogus conference was, it's not a thing. And, you know, Scott was just like, well, how is this helping? How is this helping find Liesel? And that was pretty much the question, like, all this talk didn't go anywhere. But, of course, you know, we gotta sit there and find ways to run down the clock. Now, I think Jax made some sort of decision, because the last scene, he tracks down Ava, and I guess he wants to sit there and know what's going on with maybe Nina, and like what she got cooked up or whatever. But I doubt she's going to sit there and really find any. I doubt he's going to really sit there and find anything, because, well, Ava doesn't know. And when Ava does know, she's going to be pretty pissed off. I'm pretty sure, like usual, I probably forgot something. I don't know what that is. This episode wasn't really that great. I know it's building to something. I just needed to go somewhere. You know, something I was thinking about when I was at work today is that Sonny is now going to sit there and try to find out who he is. Not really because he wanted to, but because Nina pretty much said, we can't be a thing, aka we can't have sex until you figure out your past. He didn't want to do it by himself, but now, well, I mean, I gotta, like, you know, I gotta get with that, so let me, and that just, because that's, I mean, for me, that's how it comes across. He didn't care about his past before, and, you know, as I was sitting there reading the comment section, and people were sitting there saying, like, Sonny was justified in his anger a little bit, as far as, you know, his family just, like, gave up on him, and yeah, to an extent, I do get that. I do get that I do get that he's angry that his family didn't come look for him. And when we saw it, it was like, oh, well, Sonny's dead. Yep, there's no point. Let's just stop the search. Like, that pissed me off. That definitely did piss me off. But here's the thing, though. Sonny knew that he was most likely married. And he knew that most likely had kids. And yeah, I understand that, you know, he was angry at the fact that his family didn't come and look for him. But boo-hoo. You're a grown-ass man. You have possibly a wife and possibly kids that might love you, or at the very least, you need to find out what's going on with them. You need to sit there and ask questions like, well, why didn't they sit there and look for me? Is there something that happened? Is there something that's wrong? Not just, oh, well, they didn't sit there and come and look for me. Like, that just comes across as so... just a jackass move. Just a jackass move. He's a grown man. And he's sitting there pouting and whining, talking about, oh, well, my family didn't come and look for me. Did you ever ask? Did you actually sat there and ask why? No, you just decided, oh, screw that. I'm just going to sit there and do this whole Nixon Falls thing, and I'm just happy living a simple life. Oh, I have to sit there and chance with this girl, but I can't get with her until I finally figure out my past. Like, that still just pisses me off. Anyway. What the hell? Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you all for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. See you in the next video.